Good morning and welcome. You are now watching the early morning Sunday show. This isn't one of the knockout ones. This is the original early morning Sunday show. So congratulations on finding this channel. See if you think of that in 5 minutes or so. Opening the scenery was around by Golden, Colorado. There's a highway that goes through the mountains there, through the beginning of the foothills. And we actually, first time we've been out to try to get hiking this summer. It was with the pool business. It's busy, but I find it's we're getting toward the end. It's quiet. It says let's go out for hiking. Also, it was below 90 degrees, so that was nice. Well, it seemed like everybody else thought, hey, it's below 90 degrees. Let's go out hiking. So we get to the spot we want to go. You couldn't find a parking place. People are waiting, stuff like that. And like, oh, forget this. So we go further down the road. There's the next spot where you can go hiking. Nope, packed up. Keep going. Eventually found a spot and went out and just kind of enjoyed it. Went back to City Golden. They had an art fair going on and went to some restaurant. I had a hamburger. It's called a paprika hamburger. I ordered it because of paprika. Well, that sounds kind of weird. I'll just buy that and see what it's like. Like, it was kind of crappy. Yeah. And Yelp had, gave this good reviews. The thing I really wanted, they had some weird thing, but they had sold out some mozzarella, peaches, fried pizzas, peaches. I don't, it was very different, strange sounding, so I felt I needed to have that. Well, the next strangest thing was a paprika burger. I'm not a fan of paprika burgers, so it's good to know. That stuff is good to know. Otherwise, I'm heading out to the Rockies game today. Colorado Rockies. I've been trying to get to a baseball game. My wife had to work, gets free tickets and stuff. So we put it in, and we finally had gotten these free tickets. And she had the gallbladder, so we didn't get to go to the game. Had to be in the hospital or something. So now we got them again. So yeah, okay, excited about that. Nachos and hot dogs, man, and a beer, $20 beer or something. Yeah, stupid. Okay, but let's begin. So a couple weeks ago, I showed this brand new album, remember Wet Leg, and I kind of gushed, and I'm very, very happy. Well, here's what, so then the stupidity of collecting comes in. I bought the other cover. Now, this one's sealed, so I think it's worth like $1,000 or something. I'm pretty sure of it. It's kind of like a Beatles album, worth just thousands. But yeah, this is the whole group here with their manager right there, and looks like Frankenstein or whatever. But yes, and they're all happy. See, look how here we're kind of evil looking, and here they're smiley and that. But same album, different cover. Hey, it's the Taylor Swift effect. Wow, Taylor Swift's putting out a new album too. Was that? I don't know. Did you guys cry also when you heard that? I did. I broke down. I began to cry and sob, and I was so excited. And I'm running around the house going, oh, like this, and yeah. Took off all my clothes naked, ran down the street just because I was so excited about the damn thing. Gal's a genius of marketing, though. She is good. You know what? I give her kudos. She is a freaking marketing guru. Holy moly. So, yeah, cheers, Taylor. Good luck on the album. I'm sure he'll sell just another billion of them because the whole world's still crying about it. I mean, who else does an album gets, they're on the national news. All right, during my, when Chance was here, we went out shopping, and Michael Poetry on Plastic was with us. And always a pleasure to go out with Michael Poetry on Plastic because this guy can throw cool, interesting albums in your hands, which he did here. This is the band called Turnstile, and the album is Never Enough. Turnstile, Never Enough. So we have that. That's just like, and the actual album is, there we go. Okay. And if we have that, Okay, nice. So Turnstile, band formed in 2010 in Baltimore. And it's a hardcore punk band. Hardcore punk, but also it's labeled as melodic hardcore. What the hell? Melodic hardcore. So I had to kind of dig into what is melodic hardcore. And quite basically, it's hardcore that has more melody being played on the guitars and intellectual lyrics. So I guess basic hardcore punk is for Neanderthals, and this is for Cro-Magnon. Yeah. But they've done 4 studio albums, and this one just came out. And Michael had done a review on his channel and loved it. So it's really, really good. And everybody said, hardcore punk. Are you sure I'm going to like that? Really? Are you sure? He goes, no, this is what you're going to like. You will like this. Oh, okay, let's give it a shot, because I'm just that kind. I'm the guy that buys the paprika burger. Why? Because it looked at something different, and I hated it, but I ordered it, so I had to pay for it. All right, so this I enjoyed. I liked it. I liked it a lot. The name of the album is Never Enough. Never Enough, and it just recently came out. And I mean, the very beginning song here is Never Enough, and it starts off very melodic, and very not soft, but just very kind of relaxing, beautiful. Really like that first song, and then the second song, Soul, comes on. And suddenly, I mean, the song Soul comes blasting through the door. I mean, it just charges through. It's hard. Though there's this very interesting synthesizer going on. These guys use synthesizer a lot. And during the break, there's like a synth solo almost happening. And this tribal drumming that's happening. Hardcore tribal drumming. Third song is... What is the third song? Was I Care. I Care. And that comes across almost poppy feel until the guitars come screaming in, and they come in hard toward the end of that song. I mean, so this really is an album of contrasts, but they do it in a very good way. The synths is interesting to see. They're not overdone, but they're definitely in there. I mean, I feel on this album you get a mix of dream pop and electronica, but also there's this funky alt rock going on and thrashy new metal. So I mean, you just got a soup here of all kinds of stuff happening, but it's working and it sounded really good. It really made for an interesting and enjoyable type album. Kind of a dreamy hardcore guitars with drums and horns. Don't forget, there is horns in here too. I mean, it's different, but it was really good. And I very much enjoyed this. So Michael Poetry on Plastic does it again. He has given me a number of fascinating albums, stuff that I would not have known about, but I really do appreciate it because it's fun. My next album, it is The Sinners, Piece by Piece, out of Sweden. And they've put out a number of albums, but you can find almost nothing about these guys. Hey, on this one, I forgot to show it. Was there anything special on the vinyl? Man, have I gotten sloppy on vinyl. Holy crap. Oh, look at that. Very purpley. Very Barney-like. For those of you who remember Barney the Purple Dinosaur. Anywhere you go. I never liked. God, he seemed like you want to punch him. Okay, that's a little violent. All right, so the Sinners, out of Sweden, formed in '82, broke up in 2002, and I heard about this group on a. I had a box set, and it was Children of the Nuggets, Children of the Nuggets, and on there they have a song, Children of the Nuggets, called "Barbed Wire Heart," and that's an incredible song. It starts off like jangle pop, and then backwards guitars come in. I began thinking the Chills, Pink Frost, quite honestly, is what. But the chorus is wonderful. The harmonies are great. I love that song, and but you can't find this album in the US or whatever. I mean, I have looked and looked and looked. I've been watching Discogs. It's always overseas. And it's not an expensive album unless you're going to pay for shipping. Well, finally one did come up in the US, and the seller knows that you can't find this in the US. It wasn't the cheapest thing in the world, but I've been looking for this thing for 4 years and trying to find a decent price on it. And again, it's not an expensive album unless you're in the US. So there it was, and I had to make a executive decision, and it's on that label M&M, whatever that label is, and the Vinyl Voyage can put that on one of his. That's a good label for the Vinyl Voyage to use on his quiz show. But I got it, and it's different than what I expected. Okay, this is a rock album. Now that one song, almost like jangle pop, and that song is not what the album is about. This came out in 1990. It's their second album, kind of alt rock feel to it. Most of the songs on here, they have a strong brass. I guess that's it. There's a very strong brass section going on. In fact, they got a saxophone, trumpet, couple saxophones, couple trumpets. We even got a trombone happening in here. So there is, it's a 5-piece band, but they bring this brass in. And there's one song, like Little Queen of Hearts. It sounds like the Rolling Stones. I mean, it has that kind of vibe going on. And Small Circles was another one that I found very interesting. And it has this funky wah-wah guitar just going on in there with a very good bass. I mean, the bass is kind of takes over with this wah-wah behind it. This album is varied. It really is. It's a varied album with the type of music you're going to have, but it does have Barbed Wire Heart, which it's an incredibly cool song. So I finally do have the Sinners out of Sweden. So yeah, excited to get that. A removable tattoo. All your fairy tale stories left me wandering through a maze. I just couldn't see the truth until it blew up in my face. Just hope your barbed wire heart hasn't scarred me too bad. To the bone, I use my imagination. I use what's left of my pure imagination. Paint every inch in my mind. I just hope this ain't a dream or a drug. I hope this feeling will stay. How about a little Zamrock? Zamrock, Paul Ngozi, The Ghetto. And The Ghetto is a concept album done by Paul Ngozi. As far as vinyl goes, I bet it's going to be black. It sure is. There we go. This is coming out by Now and Again Records, who is doing the large reissue campaign which again, Now and Again Records gives you the exact same book on every single album that says the exact same stuff. So I now have a lot of these books. It says the same stuff. So, Paul Ngozi. This is his 7th album. It came out in 1977. He put out his first album in 1976. This is his 7th album in 1 year. How's that for just going? Also, Zambia was just, I mean, they wanted to put out their own music. You know, they didn't want the radios had to have Zambian music. It was the law. The law says you can only have so much outside music, and it was just a small percentage. It had to be Zambian music. So everybody is out there trying to create music to get onto the radio. I mean, it was a good time. Just the company went absolutely bankrupt, and suddenly they couldn't play it, you know, and then there was a curfew, so you couldn't play at night in bars. No one had money to buy records, Well, this is a concept album, and so it is Zamrock. And Ngozi, you know, he died early, part of the AIDS epidemic, you know, born in 49, passed in 89. But he made this album. It's about the struggles of living in an African township. You can kind of see by the artwork on there what's happening. And, you know, it just begins with a song in the ghetto, good song, but then it comes to Help Me. And the song Help Me, the second one, it just has this blast of heavy bass fuzz going on. It's really loud. It basically, a lot of times what they were using, this fuzz, all this really fuzzy guitar work in their studios, is it kind of covered up shortcomings that were going on in the studio, because these guys, they weren't professionals. This wasn't something, they're just learning as they're going, man. And fuzz was a good way to hide a lot of stuff. But then it goes into the softer song Anasoni, and with Anasoni, again, there is still plenty of fuzz in there, but it's definitely a kind of a quieter type thing. Pops into Who Will Know, and Who Will Know is just another rocker. It's done in English. Not some of these songs are done in English. Some are done in Zambian. So you kind of get a mix. So as far as understanding what the hell's going on with the concept, you're not going to understand the whole thing. I don't believe, of course, there's no lyrics, so figure it out yourself. But I guess it's bad. It's bad. That's what's happening. But the recording on here, the bass guitar, you know, as far as recording wise, isn't that great. A lot. It's not very. You could just tell it's not the greatest recording done in the world. Now, the record label itself, Now and Again, has been accused of maybe not having the best records, best re-recordings of these. But let's face it, this is down. I mean, the recordings weren't great down there, and probably the tapes weren't great. So, you know, you get what you get. But it was just from Paul Ngozi, you know, exciting to have. And, you know, I mean, You Can't Hear Me, it was another neat song on there. It just had this intense bass line happening. So, yeah, I'm getting a number of Ngozi albums. Kind of running out of reissues on Zamrock that's available, but I saw this one and go, yeah, we need to get picked up. So one more for the collection. Hey, this winter, I the last few years said, yeah, I'll do a Zamrock introspective or something, look at it, because I have so many of the albums, but I'm gonna get around to it.
Mother's drinking and father's drinking, forgotten about the kids, starving at home. Dear mothers, dear fathers.
Some VCLT from Issa that he had sent me. Just want to talk about it. Nuggets 2. Nuggets 2. This is the follow-up to Nuggets 1 that never happened. quite honestly. Nuggets 1 was so big, so popular. And, you know, in fact, and it was Lenny Kaye. He said that, you know, one of the greatest things about Nuggets is no matter where he went in the world, people would buy him free beer because they love the Nuggets. So, oh, how about that? You do an album, everyone loves you, you get free beer. And there is the vinyl that came out on this. Pretty nice. This came out in 2022. And Record Store Day had it in a box set, but it came out this way also. And this is, it's wonderful. Just wonderful. And there is writing in there. It talks about each and every song, so you kind of know what's going on. But yeah, it's the 60s garage rock. They go from 64 to 68. Original artifacts of the first psychedelic era. Now it begins with "Do You Believe in Magic" by the Loving Spoonful. I never thought of that one as garage rock whatsoever. To me, that's very much pop. It's like, huh. And really, I don't like that song. But on here, you have, well, there's also Double Shop of My Baby's Love. Yeah, that one's garage rocky. Action Woman by The Litter. Talk, Music Machine. You have 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. Wonder how that one wasn't on the first one. I guess they're having a hard time getting the rights for it when they did the first one. You had the Bull Brummels with Laugh, Laugh. They are on here. What else? Roadrunner by the Gants. A Little Bit of Soul by the Music Explosion. Of course, De La Soul took that and made it their own. So, yeah, You Must Be a Witch by the Lollipop Shop, and followed by The Witch by the Sonics. So, okie dokie. Yeah, this is fun. I love that garage rock then. 80s garage rock has this personal, super big love in my heart. But, you know, the 60s is where it got going. There's some good stuff. Just sometimes some of those albums are really iffy. You know, you get the one song or two songs, and then the rest are going, no. But, yeah, Issa, this was great. I was, you know, very much enjoying this thing a lot. And it kind of puts you down. You can go down rabbit holes. I'm trying to behave with it.
Too many teardrops for one heart to be crying. Too many teardrops for one heart to carry on. You're way on top now.
And we move into Otis Redding. Here we go. And Otis Blue. So this is Otis Redding, born 41, died 67, out of Dawson, Georgia. Though he moved to Malcolm. You know, when he was, you know, he showed musical talent at a very young age. You know, he could play every instrument, you know, piano, guitar, bass, drums. He was he did his own arrangements. But when he was a teenager, they had this contest. It was a talent show contest that was being put on, and the winner would get $5. Back then, $5 was like $55 now. Okay, something similar to that. So he went in, and for 15 weeks straight, he won that contest. And he needed that because his father was out of work because of health reasons. So he was helping bring in money. So this was a big deal for the family on what he was doing. Well, then he went in with Little Richard to be part of Little Richard's band. And so he did that for a while. Then went into some various other people and was supporting acts. He was a driver. In fact, he got noticed by Stax because he was a driver for Phil Weldon. And Phil Weldon was going to Stax to record with Booker T and the MGs. Now, of course, everyone going, who's that? Well, see, obviously he didn't do too well. And when they recorded him, he didn't do too well. Well, part of the deal was, Otis here, he drove him up there. And so the deal was he could record 2 songs. So Otis Redding went in there. There's the Stax guys. And he did 2 songs. And what was the second one was, let's see. these, what was it? Oh, These Arms Are Mine, I believe was what it was. And they loved it. They loved it. They go, holy cow, this is the guy. And so Swelden didn't get anything out of it. Otis Redding, yeah, they went after him to get a contract with him. So this is Otis Redding's third album, came out in '65 on here. It's covers. I believe he has maybe he has 3 original songs on here. A third of these are Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke had just recently died. Otis Redding loved Sam Cooke, so he did them. But it does have Respect on here from the Rolling Stones. No, that's not. Respect was his. Holy crap. Satisfaction from the Rolling Stones is on here. We got My Girl, he does, from Smokey Robinson. Rock Me Baby by B.B. King and, from B.B. King. William Bell, You Don't Miss Your Water. So, interesting batch of songs on this thing. Super cheap at the record store that I got this at. Just a classic. Cool to have. Otis Redding.
Body like your hip and just shake. Got to have it now. Keep on. Put your leg. Shake. Got to move. Hey, out. A ring-a-ling-a-ling. Honey, shaking is the greatest thing. But if you really roll, you got to do the thing.
I mean, what a voice, right? What a voice. And the final one, the one that everyone has been waiting for to be talked about is, yes, the Black Watch, the bagpipe music, because we never get enough bagpipe music. As I mentioned once before, I saw them in concert in the 80s in Iowa, and I loved it, but I had seen them at the Scottish Highland Festival in 81 in Edinburgh. Not maybe them, I just saw bagpipe bands, bagpipes and drums, and I was in love with it. I just fell in love with the music, and hey, I'm 21 years old. This is super cool. And so yeah, now this does have the band. It says, and the regimental band. I don't like the brass, as I've mentioned before. I want bagpipes, I want drums. Most people say I want drums. I do not want any bagpipes whatsoever. Well, you're missing out. So, yes, and so they go, here's the military music at its most stirring, played by the regimental band and pipes and drums of the Black Watch, which was a army unit formed in I think around 1741 was when they first talked about it, but I think it really got known in the 1800s. But it's highlighted by the shrill notes of the bagpipes, which makes you want to get up and march, fight somebody, go charging across the field, do a Highland fling, and almost anything other than sit quietly where you are. So yeah, you put this on, you just go out and you beat up your neighbors or something. Yeah, I guess. And the music, this music to make your hackles rise. So yes, your hackles rise. You go, what the hell's a hackle? The hackles, that red feather, see? So it makes that red feather go up in the air. There it is. Some of these just have bagpipes and drums I really like. It's when they toss in the band, it gets too marchy, too John Philip Sousa-like. And I'm not a big John Philip Sousa fan. I was in marching band, and it's like, hey, we're going to play Sousa. Oh, sucks. Yeah, I wasn't always the most excited about marching band, but there we have it. Black Watch. I used to have it, now I got it back. That's all I got for the week. Appreciate it as always, you dropping by. Have yourself a fantastic week. And have a midweek later on with this very interesting record store. Bye.